Okay, so to continue, so we go now to the target income as a percentage of sales. Okay, so again, we will use the base company example. So here they want to know the number of skateboards that must be sold in order to earn a profit that is equal to 15% of sales revenue. So here, the sales revenue is selling price multiplied by, of course, the number of units sold. So here, the operating or the target operating income is 15% of uh, the sales revenue. So using the operating income approach, so we obtain the following. Okay, so here the formula is 15%, that is the target profit, times the selling price and the number of units sold. Okay, so we derived the formula. So therefore, here the company should sell 12,000 so that they will be able to achieve the 15% target income or profit. Okay, so here for 12,000 skateboards, the total revenue, if you're going to solve that, is 4.8. Okay, and then the profit can be computed without even preparing the income statement. So here, the break-even volume as determined earlier is 7,500 skateboards. Now, if 12,000 skateboards are sold, then 4,500, the difference between break-even point of 7,500 and the 12,000 units. So this is above the break-even point. Therefore, you will have or the company is able to achieve the desired income. So that is 720,000, which is equivalent to 15,000, or sorry, 15% of the sales. Okay, so you just divide it by 4.8. Okay, so indeed, 12,000 unit skateboards sold will give the company 15% target income. Okay, so next, comparisons of the two approaches. So here, for a single product setting, converting break-even point in units answer to a sales revenue answer is simply a matter of multiplying, okay, the unit sales price by the unit sold. So meaning to say, if the company uh, just have one type of product, um, if you're going to convert the break-even point in units to peso sales, it's simple. All you have to do is to multiply the unit sales price by the unit sold. That's it. Okay. Uh, so neither approach has any real advantage over the other. Both offer much the same level of conceptual and computational difficulty. So again, in our discussion, you were just given the different scenarios on how to solve for break-even point in different terms, may it be in number of units or in sales peso. So in a multiple product setting, however, what about in the case of a company where they sell different types of products? So what will happen? So CVP analysis is more complex and the sales revenue approach um, is easier. So this approach maintains essentially the same computational requirements found in the single product setting, whereas the unit sold approach becomes more difficult because here we have to identify the per product per unit. Okay, even though the conceptual complexity of CVP analysis does increase with multiple products, the operation is straightforward. Okay, so next is the after-tax profit targets. Okay, in our previous discussion, okay, so if you can notice, we did not include the effect of taxes in computing for the desired income. Okay, so here, income taxes are generally calculated as a percentage of income. Okay, so you will learn more of this in your income statement, in your income taxation subject. So, when calculating the break-even point, income taxes play no role because the taxes paid on zero income are of course zero. Okay, that is the reason why in break-even point we did not consider the taxes because after all, there is no basis for income tax. Okay, so however, when the company needs to know how many units to sell to earn a particular net income, some additional consideration is needed to be included in the analysis. So net income is operating income minus your income taxes. So after that, or after deducting the income taxes, that will now become our targeted income figure, which is expressed in before tax terms. So as a result, when the income target is expressed as net income, we must add back the income taxes to get the operating income. So to use either of the equation method or the contribution margin approach, the after-tax profit target must be converted into before tax profit. Okay, so we have here the following formula. Okay, so in general, taxes are computed as a percentage of income as mentioned earlier. So the after-tax profit or net income is computed by using the following. So these are the different approaches. So first, net income is equal to operating income minus income taxes. Or the other way to determine the income tax is in the second formula, tax rate times operating income. The same also with income taxes figure. Or you can also solve that using the formula of 1 minus tax rate and multiply it with operating income. Same. Okay. For operating income is equal to net income divided by 1 minus tax rate. So either way, you can still derive at the same answer. Okay, so to understand better, so we will use this illustration. Okay, so we have here for Blaze Boards company also, again. So they want to earn 390,000 after tax income next year. So the skateboard price is still the same as well as the product costs. Okay, so the requirement, number one, you're going to calculate the before tax profit needed to achieve the after tax target of 422,500. Sorry, calculate the before tax profit needed to achieve an after tax target of 422,500. Second is to calculate the number of boards that will yield operating income calculated in requirement number 1. Third, prepare an income statement for the coming year based on the number of boards computed in requirement number 2. And number 4, what if the company had a 30% tax rate? Would the units sold to reach a 422,500 target net income be higher or lower than 11,563? So we will calculate the number of units needed. Okay, so for the solution, so we have here the following. For number 1, before tax income is equal to after tax income. So the after tax income is given in the requirement. So all we have to do is to divide it by 1 minus tax ratio or its portion, in other words. So here, uh, the before tax, or meaning this is the income before we deduct the income taxes. So it's 650,000. If you're going to deduct the tax of 35%, so the after tax is equal to 422,500. Okay? Next, number 2. So the number of boards. Okay, so that is equal to total fixed cost. So again, target profit formula. Okay, so here, the requirement for number 2 is, going back, calculate the number of words that will yield operating income that we have computed in requirement number 1. So again, we used 650 before tax income, or the target income of 650. So that is what we have added in your fixed cost. Okay, so therefore, the number of boards to, in order for the company to achieve 650,000 target before tax income, so they have to sell 11,563 units. Okay, and number 3 is you're going to prepare for an income statement using the contribution margin approach. So again, I hope that you're already familiar with the format. So all you have to do is just uh, use the data presented or given plus those which we have determined in requirement number 1 and number 2. Then use the formula. So here, the net income is rounded. Okay, rounded off. So is this just the difference of 52 pesos, which is considered to be um, immaterial. Okay, because in this case, we will assume that it's still the same with that of the given. Okay, so therefore the net income after tax is indeed 402, 500 or 552 in this case. Okay, next. So number 4 requirement, the units would be lower than 11,563 since the lower tax rate means smaller operating income would be needed. Okay, because this time our income tax rate has been lowered from 5 to 30%. So meaning it also follows that the tax base will also be lower. So the before tax income, using again our formula, is 603,571. Okay, compared to that of uh, 650,000 in the previous requirement. Number 5. So the number of boards for this is um, our how many unit of skateboard should be sold so that the company will earn the before tax income of 603,571. So here it's 11,272. So meaning to say that is lower than the requirement or the result in requirement number 2. Okay, of course, it also follows because the target income also decreased. So the number of units also will decrease. Okay, so next. So this is what we have been talking earlier. You could still remember. In our previous illustrations, we used single product, meaning the company will just sell one type of product. What about if the company now is offering different or multiple products? So what will happen with our analysis? So again, as mentioned earlier, this is or the analysis will become complicated because there are more than one um, product that will be considered. Okay, so to understand better, so we will just again place board companies example. Okay, so here, uh, Blaze Board Company decided to offer two models of skateboards. Okay, so we have regular skateboards that sells for 400 and the other one is a deluxe skateboard. Okay, so it has a specialized features and it sells for 600 pesos. So the marketing department is convinced that 10,000 regular skateboards and 2,500 deluxe skateboards can be sold during the coming year. So the controller has prepared the following projected income statement based on the sales forecast. Okay, so that is again based on the number of units per product. Okay, so next, okay, break-even point. So here, how do we compute for the break-even point in units if we have more than one product? So in the previous illustration, we already presented how to compute for the break-even point in units for a single product. What about this time for multiple product setting? Okay, so here, the owner of Blaze Boards Company is worried about adding a new product line and they want to know how many of each model must be sold to break even. So for two products, there are of course different contribution margin because they have different selling prices and a variable cost. Okay, so therefore we will expect that they have different contribution margin per unit. Okay, so based on the given data, the regular skateboard has a contribution margin per unit of 160, so its selling price is 400, and our variable cost is 240 per unit. So how about for the deluxe skateboard? Its contribution margin is 300 because its selling price is 600 and its um, variable cost per unit is 300. So, how to solve for the break-even points? Okay, so if you could notice what is the presentation. So here, what they did is they compute individually the break-even points for the regular skateboard and for the deluxe skateboard. So, according to the solution, the company should sell 3,750 units of regular skateboards and 667 units of deluxe skateboard to break